to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming. So, some changes. Everybody got the changes. So, GC1. This is a for the public defenders, an increase what was originally it's been increased to $215,865. So, anybody got any questions on this? It's we approved the position, we just have money at the time.
Right. The public defender had indicated that the state wanted us to hire more attorneys. It was very difficult at that point to attract attorneys. So what we did is we, in the 2026 budget, we approved the positions, the funding. Brad has been fortunate enough to be able to recruit. We had told him back then that as if he was successful in being able to recruit, that fund the positions, which he's doing from monies that are already budgeted within the department, correct?
Yes, actually, the monies we're using are CJS, Division of Correction Justice Services. They give what they call 8 defense grants every year on several $100,000. So we have a significant portion of it unspent. So right now, zero cost to the county, and so long as that grant continues, which we're certainly hoping so, it's a grant that every county gets. It's not just us, it's nothing competitive. So long as it continues, it will continue to be no cost to the county for these 2 positions.
I believe in the most recent state budget, that grant was continued.
Sorry, do we do the approval of the minutes?
So, any idea when your next funding they're gonna?
What do you mean by next fundings?
Your any funds coming in from any of these grants?
The grant is supposed to come in the state works on a different fiscal year. Obviously, they worked April 1 to March 31. So generally, end of April, early May, usually get the funding. But usually know ahead of time that we are getting it. As Phil mentioned, it'll be approved in the state budget, it'll be approved ahead of time, so we know. The funding just depends on when they send it.
You don't know. They don't let you know.
They literally send us an email saying, hey, we're distributing this to you. And that's it.
Yep. It's true. They
don't have a schedule. They try to do it at the same time every year, but there's no set schedule such as we must have it by this date, and et cetera. So.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Yeah, but before we first.
I just wanted to ask you, how do you believe your office is going? It says she took over.
I like to think it's going well. As I've mentioned in previous meetings, one of our big focuses has been recruiting because it is so hard attracting attorneys. And it's not just us. It's not just Oswego County. Certainly the county has its own issues of attracting people, but it's pretty much statewide for public defense. So we recruit heavy. We go to Albany, Buffalo, Syracuse, have internship programs during the summer, intern and externships during 2 semesters. So we really have been pushing that hard. Fortunate to pick up a lot of law grads That's great, except we still need some experienced attorneys, especially felony trial attorneys. Basically, right now, we have Caleb Pencil and myself. So we really, some more senior people. And we keep working on it, but it's just takes some time.
Yes,
You got any, you offer out to retirees for part-time
What's that?
attorney? Part-time attorneys for retirees?
We have three part-time positions, 2 are filled. The part-time positions are very attractive, and if I had my way, I would do a dozen of them. Problem is that with the Harrell Herring grant, which is where we get most of our department funding from the state, the part of the settlement was improving the fence. And as part of that, Indigent Legal Services, ILS, who manages the money, funds us and sets policy and all of that in accordance with the settlement, they have taken the position that in order to have proper defense, you need full-time attorneys, not part-time attorneys, because if you have a part-time attorney, it's presumed they are either working or doing something else in the other time, and are they really spending that full 20 hours on the clients or not, or is it,
Really?
mixed? I don't buy that. It's easy enough to track. They're either going to court or they're not. They're either talking to clients or they're not. And believe me, my clients do not hesitate to call the office and say, my attorney hasn't talked to me in 3 days. They haven't talked to me in a week, or I've left 10 messages, nobody's called me back. So it's easy to track, but right now ILS is basically saying, you've got 3 positions, we're not inclined to give you any more part-time positions. If you want to fund them, go ahead and do as many as you want, but as far as the state funding them, they pretty much said they want full-time positions.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Do you track reschedulings, delays? I've witnessed several cases where people come to court and it gets postponed and scheduled out on the docket. You track that at all? Because it goes out of hand.
Not overall. The reason being is that there are a multitude of reasons that a case can get adjourned. From something as simple as the attorney is sick and can't make it to court and need to, on an emergency basis, reschedule all cases. Maybe waiting on discovery from the district attorney's office, maybe investigating something and we need more time. Our client might be trying to get into drug and alcohol services or mental health services, and they have not accomplished that yet, or they've gotten in, but they just got in a week before court, so they haven't had a chance to really develop a relationship. We don't have an update on how they're doing, are they attending, et cetera. So,
Well, I know it's at the discretion of the judges. I know there's a lot of excuses and reasons. And I also know every time it gets delayed, it costs the county more money. So all I have to ask is that you do what you can from your end to,
it doesn't cost the county anything for my office to delay because we're all salaried.
well,
So if we adjourn it 25 times, we're still getting paid the same. The assigned counsel program, and this is part of
I'm
why
talking about
we
the
are
whole thing.
trying to increase the number of attorneys we have, to take more of the caseload from assigned counsel. Assigned counsel, if those attorneys show up and adjourn it, absolutely it's costing the county more money.
but still expediting this stuff, moving along the best we can for a quick and speedy trial. Justice is done as soon as it can be. I would just ask that your office do everything they could to move the stuff along.
Oh, we absolutely do, and I will tell you, clients want it moved along too. They don't, especially the more serious crime, more they want attention to it because they don't like having it hanging over their shoulders, or in the case of very serious crimes, they're incarcerated and they have no chance of getting out till we get to trial. So
That doesn't happen very often. Thank you.
So back to the retirement, I mean, every company seems to be short of men, people, people to hire. I can understand that. But it just seems like you'd be able to adjust something. The state would be able to adjust something so you could, I mean, baby boomers are retiring left and right. And it just seems the state would be able to adjust something. So you can bring on more retirees to make up that difference. I'm just saying.
believe me, I have asked. And if the county wants to fund it 100%, I mean, right now, the part-time positions I have are 100% funded by the state, by Indigent Legal Services. If the county wants to fund them 100%, then we could have as many as we want. ILS can't stop us from having positions. They can cut off funding positions. That's what they're dangling over us. And I have asked for, because those positions, you are 100% correct. They're very attractive to
Absolutely.
attorneys, another segment, not just retirees, but both men and women who are starting a family, having a young child or children at home, being able to work part-time, have income, have benefits, but also be able to spend quality time with family. I could probably, within 3 or 4 weeks, get 10 people easily part-time.
Sounds like the way to go.
Any other questions?
I make a motion to move this to the full legislature.
Have a second? All in favor? So I want to go back, because I forgot to have the minutes approved for, so, okay, go back.
Take a motion to approve minutes.
Minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
GC two. County clerk.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. What we're going to do with this resolution is delete a part-time position and move a senior motor vehicle clerk to a principal motor vehicle clerk. The reason behind it is with our new, there's multiple reasons. We had the principal motor vehicle clerk before, and then we created our deputy motor vehicle clerk. Working out great. But we've noticed that with the new accounting from the state with our new motor vehicle system, we are so screwed up and behind, we aren't, they are, when we get our numbers, that it's a constant delay. It's a constant daily trying to balance and figure out where we are and what's getting drawn out of our account, what's getting put back into our accounts. And part of the problem that I see is my deputy handles that every day for me. He had to take a vacation without coming back to mountains and mountains of work. And for me to just jump into it for that 1 week, it wouldn't be possible to be able to stay up to speed. So what this does is this particular senior is my longest serving senior that we have. She knows motor vehicle inside out and backwards. It's a good way to promote somebody in the department who has the knowledge, but also at the same time, somebody who has the knowledge that's going to pick up on this very, very easily. And we'll have the continuity of those numbers daily between her and the deputy. So, and it's a savings force.
Are you getting questions?
Morning. So what's the difference between a principal clerk and a deputy?
Well, the deputy clerk, literally.
Is that the two that you mentioned?
Yeah, well, no, we already had the deputy clerk. Principal clerk and a senior clerk, so we're going from a senior to a principal. The principal clerk's duties are a little bit more, responsibilities are, this person will also do it'll be more of a, I don't want to say middle management because it really isn't that middle management company, but that would be the void that they would be filling. But she's also going to run an office like she already is. And she'd also be the floater that if we need a senior and like the last guy, she'd go from the last guy down, or from full to the last guy.
Okay, so that cross-training that you've been doing, that hasn't been sufficient to,
It has been, and that's why we're able to elevate her so easily to this position to make up for it. But the responsibility that she's going to be taking on with these numbers and everything, that's outside of your normal senior motor vehicle clerk.
and so that $2,900, that's gonna cover for this year and then next year also, is that? so
Well,
not-
next year, we're doing away with part-time clerk position. So part-time clerk position is going away. Part of that salary will go to the increase from the senior to the principal, but we still will have a savings next year as well.
So next year will also be.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
This is just a housekeeping thing. Terry, the position you're deleting, are you deleting it now or are you deleting it in the 27 budget?
But I'll create.
Because the version that's in my, doesn't have the position deletion section filled out as planned, so. Because this gets.
I submitted everything to everybody ahead of time like I'm supposed to, so.
So we just gotta make sure that the version that goes to FP has the deletion section filled out. That's saying you didn't do it right. I just noticed it was blank in my copy.
Any other questions?
I make a motion, we move this to the full list.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? So DZ3 is a resolution that addresses all the workdays for the elected and appointed positions. These people all in the state retirement system, this is what we do. This GC resolution is. So it's a list of all the employees that elected officials, appointed officials, county, and this is their number of hours a day.
Legislative harassment is still on that list.
What?
Legislative harassment is still on that list. I was confused by that.
This listing.
I think we take off.
I believe it was, we had to make a correction. This has been submitted 4 times and the state keeps coming back and saying that it's wrong. And finally, the clerk of the legislature said, well, what is wrong and what is needed? She submitted this out to them and they said it needs to get approved. I'm not gonna speak for her, but I believe it's because it needs to correct what was submitted. This has been going on for a whole year now. So it need to correct what was submitted for last year.
So this is last,
This shows,
Yes, or maybe
it shows this year's.
yeah, 1/1/26 to 12/3/26, or 12/31/26.
Clerk spent probably about 16 times over this whole thing.
we can look into that if it needs to be amended.
Okay. Any other questions?
I noticed there's some documentation in here, but not for everyone. Do we need to have a permit?
These are only, these are, I understand these are the only people that elected it part-time or anything.
I'm talking about the documentation.
Oh, that was the,
Those are ones that haven't submitted in the past, so you can opt to keep your own time. Like I can't get paid for more than 20 days. And my time is way more than that, but I'm not gonna redo my sheet and put them in. So these are people that haven't submitted a big number. You've already seen mine in the past, so that's my mind is.
When do they submit them?
3 months after your first year in, your first 3 months in office, you keep that log and then it gets submitted.
And then that's it? Then it's never done?
You can update it as it goes, or if they call for you, so.
Okay. So the initial one is kind of a sample of that. And the-
Not an expert. That's more than
it could vary, but that could vary from year to year.
Yeah, so you can do it every term if you want.
So that could change depending on the individual.
Okay.
I would say this is the most current. Okay. Yeah, any other questions? Motion to approve.
Second.
So somebody had a question, you had that question?
Sorry?
Did you have a question?
No, I was second.
Oh, okay. All in favor?
I agree.
Okay, so GC4, as you know, we utilized the right to gate polls. And so this is the resolution. It's going to appoint its wife Patty to the position. And it's one correction on the resolution. Williamstown is Amboy. Her having address is Williamstown, but she lives in Amboy. And also up at the where it is on the local law, that should be local law for 1981. I think you have a copy of the, your own,
That should be done by way of an amendment.
yes. Okay. So it could be amended.
I make a motion, we amend GC4 to include, local law number 1, 1981, and replace, local law number 2, 1970.
And also, the address from Williamstown to Amboy.
Yeah, including the other corrections. Just stated.
Yes, what?
No.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
As amended.
Yeah, I can. And we have one other resolution.
I'm gonna do that as, gonna approve it as, vote it as amended.
And, sorry, go ahead, it's back.
All right, I would make a motion that we move this forward to the full legislature as amended.
It's back.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The last resolution, it's in that packet, it's FP1. This is a resolution. Adopted purchasing policy. Submitted to the legislature, and it's been recommended. Now, our approval today, the approval would be contingent on FP, same resolution.
The amendments include some recommendations from the purchasing director that you let her go over it, I'll let her do that. One major change is the result of some audit activity of one of our programs that the state is requiring us to do independent cost estimates of certain federal revenue sources. Not all of them. It's something that we've always done, but we never had a written policy saying this is what you do, so they're requiring that now, so that's why we're adding that to the amendment policy. How did you?
Well, I included info memo with all the changes, every page that has changed. So I would be happy to answer any questions. Basically, some of it is housekeeping, like removing the word equipment in front of purchases. So it's all purchases, not just equipment purchases. That's a few times. Adding the information because we had to add that new information for the federal government. So I put in a paragraph on that. That's number 3. We also are going to be a little bit stronger about making people enter requisitions and not just doing invoices. So we have that information in there. Another housekeeping thing, when contracts are reviewed, they start at the purchasing office, then they go to the county attorney's office, the county administrator, and then the chairman of the legislature. And purchasing director was left off, so I added that. I think probably the biggest change is workflow. Because right now, department heads can sign contracts up to $5,000, but if they purchase something for 1,200, it goes from the department head, audit, county administrator, chairman of the legislature, and then purchase for a $1,200 purchase. So a lot of times we have items sitting in that workflow for a week because everybody's super busy. And since the department head already has the authority to sign a contract for 5,000, we thought maybe they should be allowed to sign off on a purchase of 5,000. It's already in their budget. It's already been approved. Their budget's already been approved by the legislature. If they run out of money and they don't have the money to fill out a requisition, then it doesn't go anywhere. Then they have to go to the county administrator and get them to move money into that budget line to purchase something. So those are the big changes. But if anybody has questions, let me know. Yes.
Okay, so I looked at the authorized dollar limits for purchases, and so these things like petty cash, utility bills, that is over $5,000, they have to.
That's an exception. Somebody's doing petty cash, they don't come through purchasing. They don't have to fill out a requisition for that.
All right, so maintenance and repairs,
Yes, they do if it's over a certain amount.
okay. Church department, change to that is,
That doesn't come for purchasing either.
okay. And then mileage, travel, compensation.
That goes through our, well, some departments, I guess, use our ESS system and they put in their own, expenses. Some still use vouchers and submit to, I'm not sure who they submit that to. I use the computer system. It's much easier.
Okay, so, but the allowance is up to $5,000, you can do that without permission. Is that correct?
What I'm saying is if you're putting in a requisition to buy something.
No, but I'm talking about my travel expenses.
Oh, no. All travel vouchers have to go to the county administrator for approval, even if it's $300.
Okay, and the last one, food for prisoners?
Yeah. I'm not sure why they can't put in requisitions, but I did talk to the undersheriff and he said that they try to watch the market when they're buying food. So it's not like they buy just a bunch of canned items. If they can find a deal, they go there. If they can find a deal, that's how it was explained to me. And it said it was an exception. I'm not quite sure why we don't change that, but they assured me that whoever handles the food is always looking for the best deal. So I guess that would be up to you guys to change.
Thank you.
Just to supplement the purchasing director's answer on travel, the way it works is if there's overnight travel that requested, there's a travel request form that comes to me, I review it and sign off on it. The chairman also can, fuck that around. Then the department can either make travel arrangements on their own or they go through purchasing to secure the hotel, things like that. More often now, it's going through purchasing because hotels have stopped taking paper invoices from departments because of the credit card. And when the travel is over, they submit for reimbursements and anything that they've done beyond that card. Audits all the travel expenses to make sure that they didn't go over the authorization, that the expenses being claimed are allowable, sort of, in other words, we don't pay for spouses, we don't pay for alcohol and stuff like that. Check against the per diem rate, which is set by the federal government, things of that, like that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
See, both of them.
Alright, so, got a vote, got a motion? Motion. That's right,
I'll second.
on favor?
Aye.
And if you want, we'll go through.
Yeah, I think you got bids, right?
Yeah, it's, I'll leave.
Let me go.
The
with
bids,
bids?
yeah, please.
Okay, the first one, 26 OSI 003, construction of aerial and underground fiber optic cabling for Mexico. We sent out, we directly solicited 16 vendors besides posting it publicly. We got 6 responses, and then we have a consulting firm that works with us, ECC, and they reviewed this particular one and recommended approval to Syracuse Utilities, which is the lowest. It looks like another one is lower, but they're not because they only answered like half of it. They didn't do the full bid response. So that's why it looks like they're lower. But Syracuse Utilities was the lowest. The next one was 004. These are all broadband. 004, another aerial and underground, and that's in Oswego. Besides ECC working on it, we have 2 consultants here, and they were also consultant. And they recommended approval to Bondspec, which was the lowest bidder. And you can see that everything is attached. We have a report, but we also attach a spreadsheet showing all the items. The third one, 005, is aerial and underground for the Fulton area. Again, we only received 4 responses. We had ECC and our consultants, plus Tim, of course, review, and they recommended again it goes to Bondspec. They were the lowest bidder, and you can see the individual unit prices. And the last, no, not the last one. One of them. I know, 006, and that's for the Williamstown area. And that one was also reviewed by ECC and our consultants. And that was recommended that we award to AMW Utility Contracting, and you can see again, they are the lowest bidder. And you can look at the individual prices if you want. And finally, the last one, 007. Yeah, I did 6. 007 Central Square. And again, we directly solicit all these sites advertising them publicly. AMW Utility Contracting is who they recommended based on pricing and ability, and they were the lowest.
Okay,
Yes,
so, let's go back, we need approval under bid 6.1.
I did have a question for
First one, what specific one do you want to?
All 5 of them, all 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So are they union friendly, these contractors?
I don't know.
Well, okay.
Yes.
So Syracuse Utilities is the company that we worked with on a number of ours. I believe Virginia, I believe that they use local work, but
Well, I don't know if they're, it's a prevailing wage job.
yes, for sure.
There's a prevailing wage schedule on all of these, so.
All stated prevailing wage, but I'm looking for.
I mean, no, there's only so many firms that do this work, and
Right.
we are obligated to utilize, unfortunately, some of these are moving national grid poles, we're doing things like that, and you're required to use contractors that they let you, it's their pole. So there are very strong restrictions. One of the firms only lets you use Syracuse, it's the only firm that they'll let you work with on their poles. So although the funding is state and federal, the available firms that actually do the work are very, very good. I'll get you a better answer on that. if they are or not, but we really have no option. We have to use, it's their poles, we have to use their.
All right, if you can get me some type of information on
And it's also Windstream and some others.
Windstream Community. I don't know what use, is Syracuse Utilities?
Well, you mean, Rich is talking about who owns the poles, those the owner of Windstream is an owner of the pole, so.
Yeah, they pre-qualify, certain contractors that can do work on their lines.
Right. They will prove it more to work on the goals.
Right. But I mean,
But whether they're used
sure.
or not, I don't know.
Right.
I don't-
I'm sure there's union contractors out there that can do that.
You can't limit the bid that you contract.
No, I'm not saying to limit it, I'm just asking that the front.
Can't, it's open bid, so anybody can meet the contract applications, insurances, and all that stuff. You can't open bid.
Understood.
So is there a time frame in here that they've all agreed to that meets your scheduling needs?
Yeah, so they understand as part of all of our awards, the timeline that we have to the present to do that. They understand that the funds available are only available for a certain timeline, and they are working within that.
Is there any clause in there, clause?
It's in the contract. It's in the contract. It's the purchase order. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's also pending.
Yes.
So I've got 3 questions. What is resolution for corporation RFs? Sign, but the checkbox, some new and some don't.
It's, so if they're a corporation, they fill out a paper. It's a form that we have 6 required documents. And so some are corporations, they don't have to be, but we just want to know that.
It's basically a document that says that whoever's signing a contract has authority from the board to sign the contract to bind corporation to their contract with the county.
Okay, 2 more questions. So the consultants that are vetting these, how much do they get paid? Per contract that they look at, or?
No, it was an RFP that went out, they were hired, and it's a set fee. And to work with us and to oversee. And then the state had some problems with that, a little bit with consultant, so they made us hire a consultant to oversee the consultant.
Which is why there are.
This
4
is what happens when you have federal and state money.
2 are county employees, correct?
And Kyle.
Well, no, and Kyle Bob is not. Yes.
Right.
Okay, so there's only 2 consultants that we're paying extra. All right. And the last, Weissman, you answered both. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. We need a motion on 6.1 bid.
Make a motion.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 6.2 bid. The underground work. We need approval.
I'll make it.
First, second, all in favor?
Aye.
6.3 bid, 26, aerial underground construction. We need a first motion, to
I'll motion.
second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
6.4,
Make a motion.
26. Move,
Motion.
have second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Through 6.5,
Motion moved.
have second. All in
I'll
favor?
second.
Okay. 6.6 to, what we talked about.
6.6 is an update to the heat illness prevention policy that HR has been working on to conform our current policy to new standards or requirements for motion hash. Basically, puts in some actions that the county has to take with heat indexing above 80 degrees in the workplace. We run into this from time to time with the air conditioning panels, and we have to make other arrangements for employees to be able to move the workplace, sometimes even have to close till it's fixed. But this is basically updating all that language to what's currently required. But this also would be pending finance and personnel approval.
Any questions? No. Any motion to approve of the amendment?
Yeah.
Make a motion.
You have a second?
Second.
Mayor?
Aye.
Okay, reporting of departments, conflict.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motor vehicles, we are continuing to get our lines down. We're not doing as bad. Now the system is, everybody's pretty much pretty trained on the system. We do have a few days where they go down and you might hear from your constituents, oh, the cameras didn't work today at DMV or this, that, but it's not just our office when it happens. It's the system wide that is very temperamental and occasionally has bugs that you just have to work through. It's kind of what we get used to when we're holding to a big system. So with motor vehicle, I appreciate the approval today to this committee for that change. I think that's going to help a lot. It's going to help with workflow for when people take time off. You know, when somebody becomes a senior, that means that they've been in the department for a while, so they build up their vacation and sick time, and they're able to take those time off. So this is going to help because one thing you don't always know is we have a random audits that happen. That was the reason when I came in, I put 2 seniors in each office because if the senior's not there, they can't do an audit until the senior gets back from lunch. So that's an hour lunch break and it happens at 12:05 and that senior just left. That whole window was frozen up for 55 minutes until that person, a senior gets back. So that's why we implemented 2 seniors. And it just makes it better for customer service and work. So motor vehicle, plugging away, our numbers are up there. If you do look at your financial report, it's showing about 25 to 26% that's in there right now for revenues. Don't be alarmed. That's all we've been paid up to date from the state. So we're continuing to get money in that we can from the state, but they are severely delayed in what they're paying us right now. In the clerk's office, we're continuing to do our cross training. I actually brought an employee in the next clerk from the record center, brought her down as we have a few FMLA cases in the clerk's office. So she's down, she's picking up a lot of, good background on the office. She had some already working in the record center, but she's really moving forward, helping us in our large records room area. So we're able to cross train everybody and continue helping the public. Aside of that, any questions, let me know.
Do you have any way of tracking, like when a person enters the Department of Motor Vehicle and when they leave? To see how much time they're spending in there?
Well, it varies on the day. I mean, I can look at the camera right now and say that you entered in Fulton DMV.
Well,
And then I can look at it and see how long they get.
Well, if they go to the count, if you have sign in, sign in. I just wondered because Fulton is terrible. You're out, the people are out the door waiting to get up to that desk.
And the problem in Fulton is I can't make enough windows. I am out of space in the whole building, and it's been like that for the last 20 years. I have the most staff I can put in that office there pretty much all the time. I try. The other problem is for lunches, I have to let people have lunch. I can't have somebody that just sits there and waits for that time when they go to lunch because nobody wants to work part-time anymore. And it's not just new now, Joe. I mean,
That's the window you're most busy. I know.
It's not the one that.
It's always
It's my least busy, busiest.
lunchtime.
No. My least busiest office is Fulton.
Oh,
My busiest office is Oswego. My second busiest is Pulaski.
Oswego, I've been able to get through pretty quick.
Well,
I'll go to Oswego to stay.
I also have room for 18 employees in Oswego. It's my problem. I just, the structure of that building, I can't, if I could add 1 or 2 more windows, I could probably expedite our line at lunchtime. But for us to invest that money just for lunchtime, it doesn't, it's not worth it.
You have in Pulaski, you have a busy office too, so.
Pulaski, I find out.
You have to wait till you go.
And I'm the same thing in Pulaski. I'm limited on space. I just, these DMVs were built with 1970s and 80s and 90s workloads, and here we are now with everybody. And I have to tell you, there's more people doing things online, and I encourage it because we are getting the same amount of retention, whether they're doing it online or in the office. But we still are lined up there. I remember when I used to work in the Fulton building, not for the county, but for a different department. And they were lined into the parking lot every single day, all summer long. And I'll tell you, do not go to DMV on Thursday. It's gonna be the worst day of the year. Because everybody wants to get everything registered before their 4th of July weekend. So you do have something for a 4th of July, you wanna get a boat or whatever, do it now. Because Thursday is gonna be all hands on deck and everybody there. I appreciate your thoughtfulness on it. It's just, I'm open to suggestions and we've tried a lot of things. You know, I did away with the appointments because nobody was using them. They just, you know, that was a waste of time, and just to keep track of it was something else that, like Clark said, to worry about.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the attorney? Yeah,
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for approving those bids. As you saw, there were 5 of them there. We have 6 service areas. Class 5 had already actually been awarded last month, if you remember. But the reason we broke it up into the different service areas is kind of twofold. The first is that it allows for better pricing, right? You don't have that just one vendor who gets it. You can get better pricing by each service area. But also with the time constraints we have, it is helpful to have multiple vendors doing this work. You can, you know, essentially have them working at different areas at different times without having to get additional squads for their company. So we think it worked out really well. Syracuse Utilities was the winner of the last guy bid. So there's 2 for each of the 6 total. Couple other updates. We've got a lot moving forward. If you get a chance and haven't seen them, all but one of our pops of the 7 or the 6 pops, that's your point of presence, that's the kind of little brain center, the HUD, have been installed throughout the county. We are just waiting on the one out at Camp Zerby. That would be our last one installed. If you want to see one real quick, there's one over at Butter Street over at the health department. You can see it's in the backyard there. So that's moving along well. This award is exciting because this is the actual construction. This is when you get the people out there doing the work. And so we're finally to this stage in the next, I would say, 30 to 60 days, where we are going to be running new lines on these poles. All the rest of this work for the last 18 months has been getting it set up to do that. So that's encouraging as well. I think I told you last month that we had a bit of a hiccup in that the vendor that we had awarded the contract for being your internet service provider, your ISP, throughout the county, has essentially backed out and said that they were no longer interested in completing that with us, which was pretty surprising, disruptive. Thankfully, when we're being the safe last few weeks with the attorney's office and our purchasing office, kind of going with a good plan, there was another vendor that had finished second in our original RFP process to the one that we ultimately awarded. They were very close, neck and neck, small pricing difference between the 2 of them. So the state authorized last week us to reach out to the vendor who had finished second, see if they would be willing to take on the project. It would allow us to bypass another 4 to 6 week RFP process. So my staff is actually meeting with them today down in Syracuse at their office to see if we can kind of hammer out a understanding for the old contract. If anything formal will obviously come to you folks, we want to make sure that that they were interested. So that conversation is happening today. Yes, correct. Sorry, thank you. So that would be good news. Now, interestingly, they are also the firm that has already been working in Oswego County. They have a 60-mile broadband loop that the county worked with them about a decade ago to help it out. We also partner with them currently to serve our 911 office and our IT folks as well. And all of our 911 towers are hooked up, many of them, not all, but many of them are hooked up using their services. So we do think there will be some additional benefits to the project, to the county, from this relationship. So we're really hoping to figure that all out. Again, that will come to all of them next month, whenever it's ready and necessary. So we'll need to move pretty quick on that, and I'll let you know as soon as we have final information.
was the second price a lot more money than the first place?
No, I would not say they had a lot more money. I would say that they are already very, very active in our community. They, if you live in Carrick or know someone who does, they're already being served by this firm. It's called New Visions. They're similar, they're kind of the Windstream that we've seen here in the area. But they do have a very strong local presence. And again, we work with them every single month. We pay them to serve our 911 towers and our IT folks.
And the network would remain open access.
Correct.
It's just a change in the primary ISP.
The requirements that we were given on our original firm are all continued on the new firm if they need. We're hoping they do. Call with good contract then.
So now you're not going to allow the money difference in the contract.
No, I mean, the program is the program, regardless. The number of addresses, and they'll be paid based on the number of addresses that sign up for it. That has obviously decreased as we have decreased the size of the project. So that's kind of the conversation is it doesn't still make sense financially with the reduced number. We believe it will because they're already here.
As originally posed and envisioned, and as today, the broadband network looks very different. It's changed a lot. And the initial ISP, primary ISP provider, signed on for one type of network, and it's still countywide, but it's not. It's a backbone network. And Tim can explain that. Also, the cost is the authorization for reimbursement. The cost has gone up on various levels, and as well. So.
One really exciting piece about it, I think last month I told you, was we're looking at doing the fixed wireless option, right? That's to run the physical cable to our 911 towers, to then run them up the tower, hook up some sort of an equipment. Again, it's a little beyond my knowledge, but it's some sort of an equipment that sends the signal to the homes via wireless, fixed wireless. This company, New Visions, that we're working with, has already wired up all of our towers. So we can work something out with them. Would save the project a lot of time. You won't have to reconnect, run separate lines. They're already there.
Well, to clarify, they wired the towers for 911 purposes, not for 5G purposes.
Right. But the broadband runs to the towers. So we'll come up with an agreement that allows us access to that. Would also allow us to access, connect our county buildings through their network as well. So stay tuned with the good. I think that's really exciting. It's good information. And for our timeline, it's crucial. One last thing, I think I may have mentioned it. I can't remember when it hit last month. The state is strongly considering an extension for this program. Now, it's only a 6-month extension, but that would be essentially, we're in June right now, so that would double the amount of time we have left to finish the project. Would also allow us, I think, to really provide a little bit of a better project. Won't be as rushed. That'll help us a little too, because it'll allow us to get our reimbursements in kind of that better schedule as opposed to pushing it all together in the last few months. So they told us that we would know in early July. So we hope to know by our next legislative committee meeting whether or not we've got that. I believe, I don't want to hold me to it, but in our conversation, it sounds like it is moving in the right direction. So that's encouraging. Again, 2 months ago, we were told no chance, no extension. I think I'm saying that to you every month. So it's good news. Hopefully find that out next month.
Within the authorization of the legislature on the bans, the project cost has increased as well as the reimbursement. There's 5.1 million out claimed right now for reimbursement. The next claim date is September 1. The target was 12/31. Tim indicated that probably 2-3 million out the door in the next couple of weeks. So the county, within the authorization previously provided by the legislature, is asking bond markets for another 8 million. And there'll be an auction on that. That will be reimbursed by the state except for interest. And then the notes that come due previously issued, come due in November, they will probably be renewed so that, assuming your 12/31 date, all the reimbursement's not going to be received in December. It's going to be received next year, so that, and they be paid off early without penalty, any of these notes, just to keep the project moving, because waiting for the 5 million would basically mean he's out of money. Right?
Yeah, pretty close.
You're pretty close to being out of money.
We do expect our first reimbursement to come in the next 10 days, they told us, so that's really encouraging. We're spending, like you said, we're spending a lot of money.
So just let you know that that's going on as well.
Oh, and thank you. To that point, we originally, I said, my man to come back to you and ask for the legislature to move money, because we had originally authorized a much larger bond amount. We don't have to do that.
It was 20, well, you may have to do a budget bond on that. when that money's received, but 24, I believe, is the authorization, so, or thereabouts. 24 million. But now the project, if money's coming in, if money can go back out, the project, what's the total project now?
33.7 million.
The state has indicated, we don't have the revised GDA, but the state's indicated that they're willing to reimburse. Yes, they're gonna cover that, right? Yeah.
Cool. Very good, thanks, Tim. Board of Ed, you got a new commitment?
I know, I apologize for going out of term, but we do have a lot of deadlines today, one's at 10 a.m., so we'll be really fast get going, but, we wrapped up the primary, I think right now, we have 2,317 ballots, accounted for, which would be about 3% voter turnout, which, so that's surprising for a primary. Early voting went fine, Matt and I worked 20 days straight over the weekend, both weekends, so,
We're hopefully react still.
yeah, we're on the verge of a possible countywide can count, so that's got us a little bit on edge right now of the time it's going to take to do that, but we won't know anything until we certify, which is at
Certification due by July 13th, but it involves multiple counties, so we'll probably be done by the end of this week, I would guess. The other counties I can't speak to. Everything seemed to go pretty well after the primary certified. The last day for any non-primary nominations will be July 23rd, and we should have a ballot shortly thereafter.
for the general. And we did use our own staff for early voting, not poll work, our staff has to be there anyways, but we did save a good amount of money using our staff. I don't know if that's gonna be the case in November, gubernatorial election, we can have lines out the door. So we're gonna play that by ear right now.
We run out for affidavit bail review,
What's the hand count? How many different races? Yeah.
probably just one,
One.
probably.
We'll have a
Until we certify.
better idea after we do these affidavits, the other counties for their affidavits, and we have to certify. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have to go.
Need some help down.
Real property.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Down in real property, we've been working with the local assessors to get the final assessment rolls finished up. Those will be published on Wednesday, July 1st. For anyone who doesn't know or needs a reminder, the assessment year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So tomorrow will actually mark the end of the 2025 assessment year. And Wednesday marks the beginning of the 2026 assessment year. With that ending, I'll be able to finish up my annual report. So next month I'll report on that. As a reminder, my annual report is actually something that's in real property law, that the legislature decides what you would like me to report to you. So I've been reporting whatever's been in that report that I inherited, but if there's any new information that you'd like me to report out in that, feel free to let me know and I can include it for next month. Other than that, the new website went live June 1st. It's had some mixed reviews. The general public seems to be picking up on it pretty well because they use it less frequently, but individuals that use it more frequently, like real estate agents and other county offices, have had a bit of a learning curve with it. What I will say with it is it was an upgrade from the old system because the company was purchased out. So it's just a different look and feel, but all the same information is there. All the same tasks should be able to be performed on it. So anyone that's reached out to us, we've been able to help walk them through like a new way to do it, and get what they need out of it. So July 15th will be when the old website is officially retired and the new website becomes the only alternative, I guess. So, but it's been, I think it's worked out really well. I think the new website works really well for getting that real property information that, these various levels of government and private sector need. So, I think it's been a good product so far, and it didn't really cost us any extra money because all the upgrades were waived because it was, an upgrade from the old system that they purchased. So, other than that, if anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Do you have a preliminary on the change in total assessment for the county?
So the only community that is still assessing at 100% that would have increased their assessments to stay at that level was West Monroe. That was about I think it was a 5 or 6% increase. Everyone else, the assessments didn't really change, but everyone's level of assessment went down. So there's going to be fluctuations in full market value, which affects their, apportionment of the county tax rate things.
We'll know that next month.
Well, you'll know that next month. Yes, I'll report that out.
Any questions? Alderman Strachey.
So obviously, we're still recruiting, we're moving forward, we're trying to expand the office. Fortunately, there's a large office space that we were able to secure across the hall from us because Board of Elections did not need it. It was originally theirs. So right now we have room to expand. Ultimately, trouble, but for now we're doing well. Recruiting continues to be a big thing. Just found out that one of our young law grads had decided to take another position, so now we have an additional position back open. It's common, fortunately. So recruiting is ongoing. We are starting talks with ILS about upcoming funding, both yearly funding next year, also starting a little bit after that, starting discussions for the new 3-year contract. It's my understanding right now that we're expecting funding to stay same level. We have not actually had long discussions yet, so that's what we're gearing up for.
The space that you are going to utilize that you didn't need, is that all set with furniture?
Yeah, that was, if you remember Frank giving me a hard time about furniture. I think his analogy was buying a prom dress when you don't have a date. I knew we had to have the position. This was not anything that was optional. So fortunately, this committee and the legislature approved. So it's all the furniture is in place. We've had IT over there. They have hooked up phones, computers, everything. So the space is 100% ready to go.
Good. Thank you.
Is this the, sorry,
Go ahead.
is this the office that OE used to be in? Board of Elections used to be in? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
What are you talking about?
That's in the Dogger Street.
At Bunner Street,
Butter Street.
Butter Street?
at Bunner Street,
Okay.
Board of Elections has the top direction,
Yeah.
north, west, I don't know, end of the building. They also had a large conference room downstairs across from my office. Well, they decided that they did not need that.
Oh.
So I was able to work with buildings and grounds and administration, secure that for us, knowing that we were expanding.
About where you come into the building, the front entrance way, the old new space, right?
My office is right on the left, right on the right.
Okay.
Any other questions? The sign council, picked one of the town, so she won't be here today, so. Anything to, okay?
No, I shall provide an update next month, but basically the budget, ILS's state budget, no harm done, so same amount of money will be coming through. Possibly a little bit more.
But for appropriate, then. What's it? Oh,
I just wanted to let the committee know that we've extended an offer to an attorney, state's attorney in another state regarding the vacant position in our office. We hope to hear back sometime this week.
anything else?
I guess some unfinished business, if you're ready. So what is going on with the code of ethics nominees? You said we had it out there a couple months ago where it was Nicholson, Fitzgibbons, and Greco. You haven't moved it forward yet.
It was tabled on the floor of the legislature.
Yeah.
Pending submission of other names. I don't know where that is, but the names as presented created an issue under the local law, and I don't know where that is, but right now it's on the table for the legislature.
What do we do?
Can't do anything.
Well, you can take it off the table at the next legislative meeting and amend it to put names in there or vote it down or vote, but you can't. The infirmity is, it doesn't conform with the local law. So you need to change at least one name.
So can we,
I don't this.
no, right. Well, can we put it on so we could get it amended on the agenda?
It would be at the legislative meeting under unfinished business, take it off the table. I think there was a discussion at the last meeting, just to let it stay on the table. You have to talk to the chair on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were,
I can do
they
that.
were looking for names. As far as
Is he here or is he on vacation?
What's that?
Mr. Weatherup, is he here or is he on
No,
vacation?
I don't have his agenda. I have no idea.
there was one name that was suggested, but I don't know if there are others, so I don't know.
Thank you, Rich.
Any other questions?
I make the motion, we adjourn.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Whoops.
Yeah, so,
She was doing it.